सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Nachiketa, having been pained by his own father, teacher, as to how or what is being given in the Dakshina, with lot of Shraddha, concern and sincerity, went to his father asking, "Oh dear father, for you, I am the dear one. And in this Vishwajita Yaga, you have to sacrifice and give away that which is dear to you. Who will you give me to?" And this insistent question kind of irritated in that pressure moment. The father said, "Unto death I give you." In a very colloquial language, you can say, "Jamar." So the son took it to heart very seriously, and because his father has already done that which should not have been done, therefore in protection to his father, he said, "Let me fulfill his wish." His word is the command. And he reached the threshold of our Yamadharma Raja. Yamadharma Raja, incidentally, was not available at his home. He was on tour. You know Yamadharma Raja's job. So he must have been on tour. And being at the doorsteps of his house, he did not accept any adithya, because his instruction given by his father, his teacher, was that he meet Yamadharma Raja. Yamadharma Raja's wife and probably his ministers asked him to step inside and accept the adithya. He did not. So the dialogue that is happening is probably the wife of Yamadharma Raja, Mrs. Yama. She was trying to convince him. And in that, we have seen the seventh mantra. Now, the effects of a Atithi who has come to our house, who does not accept our Atithya, what happens? That is said in this eighth mantra. Repeat after me. Page number 20. Mantra number 8. आशा प्रतीक्षे संगतं सूनृतांच इष्टापूर्ते पुत्र पशूंश्च सर्वान् एतद्वृङ्क्ते पुरुषस्याल्पमेधसः यस्याननश्नन् वसति ब्राह्मणो गृहे यस्य अनश्नन् वसति ब्राह्मणः गृहे. When the guest that is arrived, anashnan, does not eat or drink, accepting the atithya of the grahastha, then what happens? Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutancha ishta purte putra pashumscha sarvan. All these lists of things get completely destroyed of that host. Asha pratikshe, hopes and expectations. Asha, hope. Pratikshe, that which you are waiting upon. Expectations. Sangatam sunrutamcha. Sangatam, company of the wise and noble-hearted ones. Satsanga, sangatam. Sunrutamcha, all the great punya that has been acquired. Ishta purte, all the kinds of homa, havana, yajna, yaga, vrata, all the punya that has been acquired by these different kinds of various acts of charity. Ishta purte. Putra pashumscha sarvan, your progeny and there to be, meaning at least 7 पीढ़ियों तक, 7 generations, and all the assets, pashu are the assets. All of this, alpamedhasaha, a foolish one who does not offer atithya, all the list that is just enumerated, all of this, they get completely destroyed. Once, see, being a Swami and a Brahmachari, there are different kinds of treatments that you get in different places, different environments. So once I was with a Swamiji and we arrived at somebody's place. The person who had invited was very keen to, bring us to their house, but their house members, they were least interested in anything to do with spirituality, especially ye dhongi sadhu babas. That was their standpoint or attitude. And right from the point that we entered in, it was quite belittling, insulting, speech, action, everything. And the person who had invited himself felt very awkward and he said, Swami, yahan nahi, hum bahar jate hain. So the Swamiji that was there with whom we had gone as brahmachari, he said, nahi, baitho do. He made us all sit and said, jab pani to le aao. Said, go at least get some water. So he made us all drink. We were like 6-7 of us. All 6-7 of us sat down and the water was given. We drank. I said, ab chalte. Then after we were dropped, then that Swamiji was referring to this particular mantra and saying that for whatever reasons that you go to anybody's house, you may not want to eat, you may not want to have coffee, tea, at least drink a glass of water. It will do good to that grihastha. Even if it is your enemy's house. Unknowingly, the destruction of all the punya phala happens if the atithi is not properly taken care of. And this, Yamadharma Raja's wife knew very clearly. Even after having explained this, our little master, Nachiketa, he refused. He stood there outside, he didn't even step inside the house. And his standpoint was, it is not right or dharmic on my side to even thrust my being an atithi on you, because I have not come to see you or your house. I have come here only to meet Yamadharma Raja. So probably an SOS was sent to Yama. SOS? Save our samsara. A long phone call chat. Some method, the information was sent, and Yama was traced in 3 days and he came back running. Imagine, he is the one that controls every aspect of this creation. Death is the ultimate thing, right? He comes running when he hears that there is somebody who is at his house and he is not accepting any atithya. Take that seriously. That when Yama himself trembles to come back saying that, this is not right. Even a passing thought thinking that, these people who in the Western world, they are called gate crashers. Those who do not intimate beforehand to come at your place, they are crashing at your gate. They are not considered as atithi, they are not considered as devata. They are considered as intrusion. Privacy and it is taken a little to kya bolun main? These are not to be seen as great gate crashers. Even that thought should not cross. As soon as you see a atithi, a guest, even calling them as a guest is not a correct translation. An atithi who comes is to be treated nothing less than the devata that you worship. So Yama comes back. And then he is now directly talking to Nachiketa. Because Yama is also impressed. तू चीज बड़ी है तो तू पिद्दू सा एक छोटा सा बालक, but you made me run from my job and you make me tremble. So what did Yama say? Yamadharma Raja says, Trisro ratrihi yadavat sir grihe me anashnan brahman atithir namasyah namastestu brahman swasti mestu Tasmat prati Treen varan vranishva. Hey अतिथि, त्रिस्रो रात्रि ही यदवासी गृहे में you have come to my house and for 3 nights you have not partaken with anything, not even a glass of water. Anashnan Brahman Atithir Namasya. To that Atithi who has not partaken with even a sip of water, to that Atithi my Namaskar. And he says, Namastestu Brahman. O Brahmana Devata, that you have arrived, my Namaskara to you. May you be pleased, may good swasti, auspicious, happen to me. Who is saying this? Yamadharmaraja is saying this. May good happen to me. And for the fault of not having been there to offer you on the very first day that you had arrived, for the 3 nights that you have been here, for each night, let me give you 3 boons. Ask. Now, here I am trying to add some fillers. My guess, my imagination is that as soon as Yama came, he got off his Vahana. What is Yamadharmaraja's Vahana? Yamaha. He got off his bull and first of all, he has to wash his hands and legs, clean up himself, rush to the door, invite him, did the Pada Puja, offered him water and the other, whatever has to be done, the Upacharas. And then he has said, please ask for 3 boons. This Nachiketa probably closes his eyes, thinks through, and now Nachiketa is speaking. What is he saying? And the 3 boons, the way he asks is an amazement to watch. He says, Shanta Sankalpaha Sumana Yatha Syat Vitamanyuhu Gautamo Mabhimrityo Tvat Prasishtam Mabhivadet Pratita Etatrayanam Prathamam Varam Vrane. Trayanam Prathamam Varam Vrane. Of the 3 boons that, O Yamadharmaraja, you have offered, this is my first boon. Imagine a 6-year-old framing this sentence. That itself shows the smartness, the intelligence, and the sharpness of presence of mind. So how does he weave the first sentence? He says, Tvat prasrishtam, srishtam, created. Prasrishtam, recreated. Tvat prasrishtam, recreated by you. When recreated by you, sent back to my house. Usually, those who reach to the threshold of Yama, there is no coming back to house. From there, it is only moving forward. Right? So the sentence formation itself, he says, Tvat prasrishtam, having been created by you when you send me back to my house, let my father who will see me, may he embrace me and accept me. Shanta sankalpaha sumanaha yatha syat vitamanyuhu gautamaha. May my blessed father accept me, first of all, vitamanyuhu. Manyu means anger. Vitamanyuhu, having given up his irritation or anger upon me. Vitamanyuhu. Sumanaha, with pleasantness of mind. And Shanta Sankalpaha. Because in that particular Vishwajita Yaga that he was performing, though his Sankalpa was good, but it was not a Shanta Sankalpa, he was giving away those that were almost about to rot. May all of that memory be appeased. May he be peaceful, without regrets, without remorse, without guilt in his heart. May he accept me and embrace me back with all love, without any anger. The reason I say his smartness, sharpness and presence of mind, चतुराई जो बोलते हैं ना, he could have said, my father, last time I saw him, he was very angry. My first boon, may he be peaceful, Shanta. That should have been the vara, if he had to be asking. There, the way he weaves it is, in one boon, in one sentence of a boon, he is asking 2-3 aspects interwoven in it. Tvat prasrishtam, having been recreated by you, sent back home, second one, right? You're giving me a second opportunity and then you're sending me back home. He has ensured that. And at that time when he sees me, may my father have all love, peace and accept me and embrace me back. This is my first boon. Yama must have had a good hearty laugh. Why? Just the way that kid is asking me, क्या सोच के पूछा है? So he says, Yamadharmaraja is saying to Nachiketa, he says, Yatha purastat bhavita pratita audalakihi arunihi mat prasrishtaha sukham ratrihi shayita vitamanyuhu tvam dadrshivan mrityumukhat pramuktam. Mrityumukhat pramuktam. You who will be released from the clutches of Mrityu and prasrishtam, having been recreated with the opportunity to go back to your father's house, to your father. He must have had several names. So Arunihi, the son of Aruna, Audalaka Arunihi, your father. When he will see you, he will not be scared. ये तो पूछा था ना. One aspect of the ask was that he had regrets, he was feeling guilty, he was irritated, therefore he was ashanta. Now when he sees me back, Nachiketa said, may he accept me with all love. If somebody is gone to Mrityuloka and then returns, Wouldn't we be scared? Why? Bhoot. Right? You who have been released from the clutches of Mrityu, when you go back to your father, he will accept you and recognize you as his own son and embrace you with all affection, all love, just as before. And he says, he will have peaceful sleep at night. Now, who will have peaceful sleep at night? If something is bothering us, something is troubling us, we are agitated about, we will be tossing up and down, left and right on the bed. We cannot sleep properly. Agitated mind cannot find good sleep. So he will have a peaceful night of sleep. Meaning, without that anger, because of my blessings, he will have a peaceful night. He will sleep good without any regrets. So the first vara has been asked. Now the way he asks the vara also, there is a sequence to it. He thought, probably closing his eyes, the way the sequence of vara has been asked, he first thought, first as a child, my first responsibility is to fulfill my responsibilities towards my family, my parents. So may my first vara bring peace and happiness to my family, to my parents. As an individual that I am born in the society, my second responsibility is towards the society to which I am an integral part of. It is not about what the society has given me, but what have I added to the society as something beneficial, something productive, something positive that I can contribute to. So his second vara is towards his responsibility towards the society. And then the third vara is towards his upliftment to his family, to the society, and for self. This is how he has sequenced the vara. So the second vara that he asks, he says, he is giving the backdrop for why he is asking the second vara. He says, Swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti tatra tvam na jaraya vibheti ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase shokatigo modate swargaloke. He says, the best thing that we can do to a society that we are a part of is to provide them with a long-lasting, happy environment. See, most of us, when we get educated or when we guide our children to get educated, we are not looking into these subtleties. The whole mindset of raising a child has been a financial security for that individual. Whether they are productive, whether they are being a positive contributors, whether they will give anything gaining to the society, nothing of that is being trained, tutored, or even given an idea about. गलती से भी हम अपने बच्चों को नहीं बताते हैं. All that we say, నువ్వు చదువుకొని బాగుపడు. You study, you learn, you earn, and you stabilize yourself. The focus is only at that level. Am I exaggerating it? Have we ever by mistake told them that when you gain and you stabilize yourself, then your actual responsibility starts to give something productive to the world. Giving aspect is not at all mentioned in our upbringing. At the most, we try to find a sense of security in 9 to 5. Do you have property? Do you have a security of a job? Do you have a security of property? Do you have security of wealth? Even when the children get married, we are not looking into how good a productive, positive influence does that individual have around in the society, but instead, how much wealth, how good a security for you, for your wife, for your children. This is what we look at. Whereas this samskara that is there, that has been given, he has been raised well. So what is he thinking? He says, society, because of various experiences that they go through a lot of misery, lot of pain, lot of sorrow. And the best thing that I can contribute is not to plug myself into some 9 to 5 job for my own sense of security, but something else more than this, which can be as an add-on solution to the existing environment, so that can bring a certain amount of peace, certain amount of joy, certain amount of stress-free life. Even to think at that age this magnanimous, and hats off to this child. And he gives the reason. And best part is, for every step of his thinking, he has a solid, profound reasoning. What is the reason? He says, Swarge loke na bhayam na kinchana asti. In the Swarga loka, there is no bhaya. Now, how did you assume that Swarga loka will not have any bhaya? He gives the reason. Na tatratvam na jaraya vibheti. In the Swarga loka, I have been told there is no old age. Na tatratvam. They are there as long as they have their punya phala to last in that Swarga loka. Therefore, your influence, meaning tvam meaning mrityu devata, right? Mrityu is not there in Swarga loka. Old age is not there in Swarga loka. Why is there no old age? There is no need for ashana pipasa. Ashana, hunger. Pipasa, thirst. There is no need for food and water. All the effort that is put in this Manava Loka is for what? Securing food and water. What is the Telugu saying? Koti Vidyalu, Koti Korake. All the millions and millions of different kinds of methods is for ensuring that you have the next meal. Isn't that the basic baseline? So the entire human world is geared towards finding that security, that there is at least the next meal ensured. They don't have to think about food, water, security, old age, illness, death in this Swargaloka. So therefore, I am asking you that method wherein they can reach to the Swarga Loka and can cherish being in that Swarga Loka in absolute state of happiness, stress-free life, and they don't have to worry about food, water, and security. Can you provide me a method that can be given to the society where they can raise themselves up to this kind of an environment? Who is asking this? A 6-year-old. What depth of thinking. Just like how, from here when I look at all of you and your expression, everybody's expression is, this was the expression. Why? You're impressed at the thought and the intention behind the thought, intention behind the asking. Yamadharma Raja also is quite impressed. So he says to Nachiketa, no, Nachiketa is still continuing wherein he says, what exactly is he going to ask to ensure that this method, some method has to be, planned, with which the society can earn that kind of punya. So, what is it in his opinion? He says, Sattvam Agnim Swargamadhyeshi Mrityo Prabruhitvam Shraddadhanaya Mahyam Swargaloka Amritatvam Bhajante Etadvitiyena Vrune Varena. Sattvam Agnim, teach me that Agni Karya, Yaga, Homa, Havana, Agni Karya, Swargyam, Adhyeshi, He Mrityo. You are the knower of all these methods. Why is he a knower of all these methods? Because in that threshold where his office is, he and Chitragupta sit, based on what we do here, they have to evaluate what points have to be given to that individual. Punya points, Papa points. And what kind of karma gives what kind of punya points? You are the best knower of it. Tvam adhyeshi he mrityo. You are a complete knower of the entire field of karma, which we in Manavaloka are confused. What to do, what not to do, how to do, what intention to do, we may not be aware of. But you are one individual who knows this field thoroughly. Madhyeshi, Adhyeshi, He Mrityu. Prabruhitvam. Please tell this to me. Who is me? Shraddadhanaya Mahyam. I am asking this with complete Shraddha and the welfare of those that I am asking this for. Swargaloka Amritatvam Bhajante. In the Swargaloka, based on the punya that has been earned by that individual cherishes that Swargaloka to that extent. Give me that kind of a technique, that kind of a method with which they can earn the best of the punya so that it is long lasting Swarga Anubhuti. Etad dvitiyena vrine varena. Of the vara that you have given, this is the second vara that I ask. Imagine if suddenly Bhagavan were to appear here and on the spot asks, Three Boons, ask. I tell you, we will not be in a position ready to even articulate a thought. We will be so scattered, not knowing what to ask. Now, this mature kid has thought of his parents, asked for the welfare of his family, thought of the society, and asking for the welfare of the entire society. And with such articulate logic. Now, in this Manava Janma, what is it that we have? We have the opportunity called our Swadharma, our Kartavya Karma. Hey Bhagwan, Mrityu, teach me to, so that I can tell the people what is the best way to utilize their karma so that they can attain to the Swarga, meaning they have attained so much of Punya that Swarga Anubhuti is almost like Amrutatvam Bhajante, where they are not shaken up, they cherish that Swarga as long as possible. Karma is the only method. So tell me that karma karya through which they can attain this. Now that Yamadharmaraja, who seems to have been very impressed, how his own words, how he is responding. He says, Prate bravimi Tadume nibodha Swargyam agnim Nachiketa prajanan Anantalokaptim Atho pratishtham Vidhitvametam Nihitam guhayam. Hey Nachiketa, pay complete attention. Seated in an stabilized environment, meaning with ekagra buddhi. Vidhitvametam nihitam guhayam. Seated in your buddhi, try understanding what I am going to tell you with rapt attention. Now you have asked for Agni Karya. Now this Agni Karya is not a simple task. See, the entire Vedic ritual of doing the Havan or Yaga, by few, it has been reduced to light a fire and literally dump the various havis. The invocation mantra will not be there, the prakriya will not be there. I have seen that the Havan Agni, it has to be invoked. I have seen people use even a lighter. Now the Agni to be generated, it has to be in a pure form. It cannot be a matchstick. It cannot be a lighter. It has to be created, and that process, there is Arani. It's called Agni Mathana. Arani is a wooden cup. So there are two wooden cups and a stick, a very strong stick. That strong stick is usually a hard wood. The cups are made up of soft wood. The lower cup is placed and the stick is placed inside. On the top of it, the upper cup. Now, a strong Purohit holds these three things in alignment. From the top, putting the pressure. There is a rope that has been tied around, looped around, not tied but looped around. Just like how you see in the olden days, they churn the buttermilk. Similarly, the rope is turned around. There is a Purohit who holds the two ends of that string which has been looped around that hardwood stick, and then they start churning. It is under pressure. It is not a liquid. It is on a solid surface. So imagine the amount of strength required while chanting the invocation mantras of inviting Agni. And as they chant and with that friction that is generated, there is fire that is born in the lower cup. And that fire, they have cotton, they have fiber, dry fiber. So they put this splinter into that, and then Agni is brought into the Homakunda. Imagine, bringing in Agni itself is a ritual, an elaborate ritual. And then what kind of wood to be added in? It cannot be एक दाल टूट गया है. Some tree, some random tree that it has fallen. So now cut it and use it. Now if it is infested by termites and other things, that is not qualified as a right wood. There is the Panchapallava, the 5 different trees. And the way I remembered or I memorized it is Ma Mame Raju. Mamidi, Marri, Medi, Ragi, Jubi. These are the 5. So the dry wood of these plants have to be secured. And then it has to be the ghee. And the ghee is, see, there are several names for ghee. Ghratam, right? Amongst these several kinds of ghee, the specific ghee that has to be used is called ajyam. Now what is ajyam? Ajyam is that specialized process of clarifying the butter purely through converging the sun's radiation onto the butter to convert it into ghee. No fire used. Am I getting across? That kind of ghee, when clarified butter is generated through using the sun's, converging his radiation, that is called ajyam. That kind of ghee has to be used. हम क्या करते हैं? एक डब्बा खोला, डब्बे से एक बर्तन में डाला, गैस स्टोव पे चढ़ा दिया, गरम कर दिया, फिर ला दिए. Imagine the fire. How do you invoke? There is a method. How do you create that ghee? There is a method. How do you procure the harvest that has to be offered? There is a method. And it is not random. In everybody there is a pyromaniac hiding. As soon as we see fire, we feel like throwing it and making it elaborately big. There has to be swahakara. And in that swahakara, you have to offer at the appropriate time with the appropriate mantra. Even in offering, we have to be conscious of what kind of fire is generated and which kind of fire, what kind of offerings have to be offered. It is not just lighting up and then pouring Kali, Karali, Manojavacha. There are names of fires. that which is dark in color, that which is red in color, that which is glowing in bright yellow, bright white, bright blue. There are different names for each fire, and that kind of fire has to be generated, and that mantra has to be said, and that offering has to be given. And that mantra has to be sequentially memorized. We are learning Purusha Suktam. And in that Purusha Suktam, there are a couple of sentences which look very similar. Nanya pantha vidyate yanaya. What is another similar statement like that? Nanya pantha ayanaya vidyate. So while chanting that one paragraph or that one or two anuvakas, it comes in, one sentence comes in the first one, the second one. It looks so similar. I've seen invariably people repeat the first sentence second time and be caught in that loop in between. And then keep repeating that seventh anuvaka again and again and again. So memory has to be sharp. Because you have to remember the sequence of mantras. So therefore, Yamadharmaraja is saying, Bhaiya, तूने मांगा तो बहुत बढ़िया चीज है. You have asked a very beautiful, with beautiful intention. But that which you have asked requires rapt attention. तुसी तैयार हो? Are you ready for it? By learning this and practicing it, my blessings that Ananta Lokapti Matho Pratishtham. Whoever does this kind of Agni Karma, they will attain to the Ananta Loka, that unending world, or they will stay in that world Ananta. Both ways it can be taken. It is qualifying the Loka. It is also qualifying the individual who is going to live in that Loka. Nachiketa must have nodded his head because there is no response from him. And when Yamadharmaraja is asking, are you ready, with rapt attention, he must have nodded his head. Ji, ji, main to tiyar hu. So then, Yamadharmaraja says in the 15th, Lokadimagnim tamuvacha tasmai ya ishtaka yavatirva yathava sachapi tat pratyavadatyatoktam प्रत्यवदत्यतोक्तम् अथास्य मृत्युः पुनरेवाह तुष्टः. I've given how to invoke fire, what kind of oblations, what kind of ghee. Here another detail is added. Ya ishtaka yavatirva. For different homa, different yaga, there are different sizes of bricks and amount of bricks that have to be created. If you have seen a good traditional homakunda, they have to have the main homakunda, then there is Ahavaniya Agni in one corner, then there is Dakshina Agni, then there is the other Agni in the back wherein the sacrifices are done. So there are not just one Homakunda, but there are at least about 4 Homakundas that have to be created minimum. One is in a D shape, the alphabet D. One is in a circular, one is a square, So for each kind of havana, homa, there are different designs that have to be calculated. So the number of bricks that go in place is also given. What kind of bricks? What is the size of the bricks? It cannot be random. First time when I went to US, the layers of cultural shock that I had was terrifying. Within the first 2 weeks that I had gone there, somebody said, Swamiji, हमारे घर में षष्ठ्यब्धि पूर्ति के लिए we are having a homa, Aishya homa. So please come. I go there with my traditional mindset and I go there. I said, where is the Havan Kunda? You know, the aluminum foil tray. They bring 2 aluminum foil trays. There are 3 sizes. The largest size, in that the medium size. In the medium size they have poured water. In that they have the smallest size. Homa Kunda has to be square in shape. Minimum se minimum. These are rectangular in shape. And most of the houses in the American context, they have a fireplace. They have inserted all of this arrangement into the fireplace. It cannot be done. Am I ऐसे कुछ भी? The smallest format of the Havan Kunda that has to be formed, it has to have in the lowest layer 8 bricks. Lowest layer. And like that, you have to have 4 layers. 8 times 4, 32. And in the middle of each segment, each side, you have to have 4 bricks. 4 times 4, 16. 16 plus 32, 48. To the layer of the first layer of brick that you have arranged, there has to be sand. And then you have to apply that mud which has been brought from the snake hill or a termite hill. You have to bring that kind of a mud and then mix it up and apply it so that there are no crevices which are open or leaking. And then on that cow dung has to be applied, dried. Then you decorate the whole thing. And then you bring in a tray and put it there and start. Ya ishtaka va yavatirva. There are methods. And Yamadharmaraj ji explained all of this. As soon as Yamadharmaraj ji explained, and because Nachiketa was specifically asked, listen to it with rapt attention. What did Nachiketa do? He immediately, sachapi tat pratyavadata yatha uktam. Whatever sequence of various things, ingredients, material, methods, mantras that were said, Nachiketa repeated them verbatim. As soon as he heard, he memorized it and repeated it, the entire sequence. This is called Eka Santagrahi. That you listen to it once and you memorize it. And this Yamadharma Raja, Atha Asya Mrutyuhu Punarevaha Tushtaha. He was amazingly pleased with the attention and shraddha with which this child has learned and memorized and repeated it. So, being happy with him, he spoke. And he said, he will continue tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhavet असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।